Bom dia, boa tarde, boa noite, buongiorno, buonasera. Guten Morgen, guten Abend, gute Nacht, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you may be. Jay Slater case. I want to go back to 1 week, roughly 1 week after Jay Slater disappeared. An article that I found from LBC, and boy, is it fascinating in the fullness of time when you go back to the early days to see what has transpired and what really didn't match what was said back then. You can never dig back enough to see what people were thinking at the time. So let us pull the article up. As always, this will be linked. This will be linked to the description of the video. Here's the headline. Show some respect. Teenager wounded in machete attack by Jay Slater gang tells internet sleuth to help find him. So obviously it's in reference to Tom Hilton and that message he sent out there that we should all be on the family's side here, Jay Slater's family's side, and stop whittering on about that horrific attack that split his skull open. That was the Tom Hilton take there, and like I said, this is from 25th of June 2024. And once again, it is Kit Heron. Someone did send me, a contributor sent me a little bit of a breakdown on this journalist, Kit Heron, that wrote this. And to be honest, I didn't find a whole lot that was outstanding, good or bad, about Kit Heron. But let's get to it. Kit says a man who was attacked by a machete-wielding gang that included Jay Slater has urged internet sleuths to show some respect and help find the missing teen. Tom Hilton suffered a split skull in 2021, age 17, after being assaulted by a gang of 8 young men, including Jay, who struck him with an axe, a machete, and golf clubs. Now, that is not saying that Jay attacked Tom Hilton with axe, machete, and golf clubs. It's saying that the 8 young men in the gang did that. And to this day, it's never been clear who exactly did what to Tom Hilton. It seems like, as a collective, this pack of wolves, as Hilton described them, were punished for what they did. But I believe in this article it comes out that Judge Parry said that each and every one of them did deserve a custodial sentence. That bit can't be ignored. The whole point about Jay was just on the periphery watching. Doesn't hold its ground with the judge, who says they all deserved to be given a custodial sentence. But we get to that later on. Jay, a 19-year-old apprentice bricklayer from Oswald Twistle in Lancashire, travelled to Tenerife for a weekend musical festival with 2 friends when he disappeared late on the night of June 16th, over a week ago. I would dispute that. I would dispute that. The 19-year-old travelled to Tenerife for a weekend music festival with 2 friends. I would dispute that. We don't know. We still don't know why Jay went to Tenerife. It might have been for the NRG Music Festival. It might have been for other things. I would say, given the toxicology report and the people he mixed with, that there was a lot more than music going on in the Jay Slater plan for that weekend. The article says extensive searches have been underway since his disappearance, but now detectives on the holiday island are evaluating the teenager's background. Well, better late than never, in the sense that, yeah, 1 week into searching, and we'd better give some thought to the guy's background. Would-be detectives on social media have also drawn attention to Jay's past, but Tom urged them to give it a rest. Nope, Tom, we're not giving it a rest. Social media detectives want to know the truth. So, sorry, Tom. I know you say you'd like us to shut up, but ain't going to happen. The article goes on. He added, I think is Tom, this young lad's missing and his family's heartbroken. Put yourself in their shoes. I would love, Tom, to put myself in their shoes. I just don't know what kind of shoes the Slater Duncan family have. I have a feeling that there is a lot of detail that's being obstructed here, where we're not being told the truth. So I'm hesitant, Tom. I really am hesitant to put my feet in their shoes. Stop talking nonsense, says Tom, on social, and get this lad found. Mentioning my name and all this and that. Yeah, really your name you didn't like, wasn't it? Have some respect and help find this boy and get him back to his family, blah, blah, blah. It comes after the Spanish press revealed that the 19-year-old has a criminal history, as he was previously involved in a machete attack that left the teenager fighting for his life. In the 2021 attack in Rishton, Lancashire, Mr. Hilton was left with injuries to his head, which left his skull exposed, as well as wounds to his shoulders and legs. But, as far as Debbie Duncan is concerned, and Glenn, Jay was just watching. Didn't intervene to stop anyone doing anything, just watching it all happen. Believe that if you choose to. He told the court he was forced to run for his life through nearby woods before he was set upon by the gang, which he described like a pack of wolves. Passing sentence on the case at the time, Judge Parry told the court that the group of 8 had found the trial amusing. I'm going to repeat that. Judge Parry told the court that the group of 8 had found the trial amusing. Now, in other reports, you will hear some say that some of the defendants or many of the defendants, but the way LBC report it, Judge Parry said that the group of 8, that means all of them, found the trial amusing. If we side with this LBC report, then we include Jay as one of those that found the whole thing quite funny. This is why I have no respect for Jay Slater. I can't do. I said before, it doesn't mean I have total disrespect for the guy. I want justice for him because some crooks got away with some nasty stuff here for sure. But I can't find myself able to respect Jay Slater, of course not. He said, the Manchester Evening News reported at the time, many of you have found these proceedings amusing throughout the trial, and yesterday and today showing disrespect to the court. I hope for the sake of all your families, the public, and the people who have offered you jobs and apprenticeships and that sort, that you all grow up. Well, didn't happen, Judge Parry, did it? Maybe if you'd given a custodial sentence, Jay would still be alive. Every one of you deserves to be sent to youth detention. Let me repeat that bit. The judge said, every one of you, talking about the gang of 8, including Jay, every one of you deserves to be sent to youth detention. So, Judge Parry, why didn't you do that? If that's what they deserve, why didn't you do it? Some of you played a more active role in the violent disorder than others. Some of you carried weapons. Some wore balaclavas. But the seriousness of this is the group nature of it. As a group, you were all more threatening than you would have been as individuals. Jay was given an 18-month community order with 25 days of rehabilitation activities and 150 hours of unpaid work for violent disorder following the trial. Facts are facts. I read out a post earlier today by Rachel Hargreaves that talked about facts. We all like our facts, and there is a fact. Jay Slater was given an 18-month community order. He left for his holiday to Tenerife last week after completing most of his sentence, the Daily Mail reports. Well, I would turn it around. If Jay Slater went on holiday to Tenerife after completing most of his sentence, that's another way of saying Jay Slater went on holiday to Tenerife having failed to complete his sentence. He did not complete his sentence and went on holiday. Yes, Debbie Duncan and Glenn Duncan, and maybe Warren, it seems, said, yeah, green light, thumbs up. You haven't completed your sentence, lad. But we see no problem with you going away on holiday. Yeah. And judging by the toxicology report, wow, what a holiday it was. Still, that community order was incomplete. It had not been served. These are the types of people, Oswald Twistle, that we're dealing with. The local media in Tenerife have since started reporting the details of Jay's criminal activity. As one paper, El Dia, published a story with the headline, "The Past of the Young British Man Who Disappeared in Tenerife. Slater beat up a teenager along with 7 other people." Spanish police said they are not ruling anything out amid the ongoing search for Jay. Except to my mind, they did rule everything out. A source told the Mail Online, in cases of missing people, it's natural to investigate their background in case it's relevant to the hunt. Of course it is. This case is unusual, as it's been a week, and there has been no sighting or leads on him at all, and the searches have thrown up no clues. I'm going to read that again, because this is after a week. This case is unusual, as it's been a week, and there has been no sighting or leads on him at all, and searchers have thrown up no clues. If that is unusual after a week, how unusual is it after Ooh, I don't know, 2 weeks. How unusual is it after 3 weeks? How unusual is it that no clues, no leads, no sightings happen after 28 days, apart from the body magically appearing from nowhere? How unusual is that, I would ask? We have to consider the possibility of something else happening. Yeah, you do have to consider that possibility. Some of us considered that on day one. But I guess after a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, some of you slowly think of another possibility. It comes after the father of Jay urged anyone with information on his missing son to come forward, as the search for the 19-year-old entered its second week in Tenerife. I've got a suggestion for you, Warren. You say anyone with information on his missing son. How about Rachel Hargreaves and Brad Hargreaves? Rachel, who was searching with you in that shepherd's hut. How about she come forward with information and let the world know who the two mystery men were? She knew who they were. So, Warren, anyone with information would be the person standing next to you during your search. That person should come forward with information, don't you think? Both of his parents have been vocal in their calls for help with their son, as police continue to search the island, and his dad, Warren, has travelled to Tenerife to help with the hunt. He said that the period since his son had gone missing had been a living hell. Yeah, I can believe that. This is the kind of world that Jay Slater got mixed up in. It is a kind of hell. I just want him to be found. Simples, Warren added. I just want my son back. End of. What more is there? It's been a week now, a week of nothing. So somebody somewhere must have found out something. Yep, that's Rachel Hargreaves and Brad Hargreaves. They know about the mystery men. After 1 week, you didn't know it. We know it now, Warren. We know it now. Just as you're saying someone somewhere must have found out something, that person was standing right next to you. Can you believe it, Warren? Can you believe it? Somebody, it is a living hell. Unless you're going through it, you cannot explain it. No. What kind of living hell must Warren be going through now, knowing that that somebody was standing next to him, pretending to search for clues? That's what I can't believe. Please, 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 if anybody knows anything, just come forward and help us. Brad, Lucy, Brandon, Ayub, Stephen Rocas, Ophelia, Roman, Ramon, Juan Diaz. Please, 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 Warren said, if anybody knows anything, just come forward and help us. But none of them did. Why, Warren? Why? I don't know if anything untoward has happened to Jay. 1 minute he's here, next minute he's disappeared. I don't believe he's still in that mountain. No. After 1 week, Warren said, I don't believe he's still in that mountain. Chris Tenerife said exactly the same thing. I don't think he's in that mountain. I said exactly the same thing. I don't think he was ever in that mountain. Oh, but only one of us is being targeted for speaking some misinformation. Everyone else can say, I don't believe he's in that mountain. But only a select few are targeted for misinformation. Why is that? The police have put every effort into finding him. No, Warren, I don't think they did. The authorities have done everything they can in the search. No, Warren, I don't think they did. Everybody is up there looking for him. That's the problem, Warren. Everybody was up there looking for him in a place he never went to. That's the problem. We need everybody to help us to search through this wilderness. Everybody. No, you don't, Warren. You need everybody to try to be honest and say what happened to Jay. Everybody looking in a wilderness where Jay never went ain't gonna help. That's why 2 years on, we're still talking about this. Lucy Law, 18, who travelled to Tenerife with Jay, criticised Spanish police for not doing a good enough job in the search for him. Well, Lucy Law, if you'd been honest from day one and actually told us what happened to Jay, then the Tenerife police might have had a few decent leads. But you, Lucy Law, making up a whole load of bullshit in the GoFundMe preamble, all of that threw everyone in the wrong direction, didn't it? But officers have said they are totally focused on tracking the 19-year-old down and will continue to prioritize that despite facing criticism. Well, to be honest, the criticism came because you continue to focus on an area where there is no evidence he ever went. That's the long and the short of it, officers. It comes after Lancashire police said they had offered to help out, but were rejected by Spanish police. Yeah, I mean, Lancashire police, why fly over 2 helicopters from the UK when the Spanish police already have a helicopter? The Civil Guard is not going to reply to criticism or praise it receives here, a source told the Mirror. Officers are just doing their job. They're focused on the search, and they're going to continue with the work they're doing without anyone taking time out to respond to the evaluations other people are making. In other words, Spanish police have got nothing to say. They really don't care what the public think. Time to move on. The force is aware of some of the comments that are already out there, but are prioritising what needs to be done, which is to search for Jay. Notice how they leave out the words to search for Jay in the right place. Just searching for Jay is the intention. Not getting the right place to search doesn't really matter. Just imagine how much chatter there'd be if we did publicly respond. Yeah, well, chatter can be useful. A second source added, if Lancashire Police have decided to make public their offer of support to the Civil Guard, that's a decision for them. But it doesn't follow that the Civil Guard in Tenerife will be making any public statements of their own in response, and it's unlikely they will. We have a different way of doing things, and that's not to say it's better or worse, it's just different. No, it's worse. I'll call you out. It's worse. It's worse when you don't communicate with the public. It's much worse. The Civil Guard spokeswoman said on Monday morning, the same Civil Guard units that have been searching for him since last Monday, including the mountain rescue experts and officers with sniffer dogs, are out on the ground along with a police helicopter in the air. Firefighters and civil protection workers with drones are also involved. No hypothesis is being ruled out. No hypothesis is being ruled out. Seems to me that every hypothesis, apart from he's lost in the mountain, was ruled out, I've got to say. She added some of the areas that are being searched have been looked at before. Mm-hmm. A grainy picture released by Jay's family showed a figure in Santiago de Teide at around 6 p.m. last Monday, 10 hours after he was last seen in the village of Masca, which is around 4 miles away. It is understood to have been taken near a church called San Fernando Rey. Jay's mother, Debbie Duncan, previously said a witness had come forward claiming someone matching her son's description was seen with two men in the same location on the same evening. Yep, but we never heard anything more from that witness. That person was shut down immediately, obviously. Local police are yet to confirm the sighting, but have said nothing has been ruled out and nothing has been ruled in. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Miss Duncan earlier addressed conspiracy theories surrounding Jay's disappearance, saying she really hopes she will not be taking my son home in a body bag. A fundraiser for him has reached 30,000. Wow. So within 1 week, 30,000 was raised. Not bad, huh? But questions have been posed as to what it will actually be used for, with a discussion raised on a social media page devoted to searching for him. Ms. Duncan said in response, I am really saddened by all your comments. You seem to be so bothered about this GoFundMe page. I really hope I am not taking my son home in a body bag. Well, you're right, Miss Duncan. Some of us were really concerned about a GoFundMe page. You don't need any funds to conduct a search. That's all done at taxpayers' expense in Spain. You don't need it. As Rachel said, you don't need it. That's why we're concerned. Miss Duncan continued, the funds are not released and won't be if not needed. I really cannot believe the British public are not supporting me in trying to find Jay. This may happen to any of you one day. Very let down by you all. Oh, I see, Debbie. You're very let down by all those people that generously donated, are you? Uh-huh. Miss Duncan later said, sorry that you've taken this the wrong way. I am overwhelmed with the generosity. What I meant was verbal support. I really hope I don't need this money. If it's not needed, it all gets refunded to the people who really did care. That's interesting. If it's not needed, it all gets refunded. How many people that donated to the GoFundMe have been refunded? Because it looks like it's all not needed. When did we get an update on that, Debbie, about the funds that were not needed? I don't think we did. Why? The search has been going on for a week, and police in Tenerife announced over the weekend that they were starting to close in on a series of small buildings near to where the teenager's phone was last detected. Wasting your time, guys. Go down to the beach end, the ravine, not the buildings. After a final phone call made to one of his friends, Lucy May, at around 8 a.m. last Monday, Jay vanished, with his phone running out of battery shortly after. Friends say that he sounded disorientated during the call. explaining that he was in the middle of mountains with nothing around. Funny that, isn't it? All the friends say that there's nothing but mountains all around, and yet that last call was right by the road. Why did none of them mention a road? Why did Jay not mention a road? Why no mention of the road? Why is it mountains, mountains, mountains? Not road, road, road. Don't know. Something's off there. Meanwhile, a former detective who probed the disappearance of Nicola Bully and led an investigation into Jimmy Savile has offered up his services with finding Jay. Mark Williams Thomas has reached out to Miss Duncan to offer his help. A fellow partygoer caught Jay on camera stumbling around at a party just hours before disappearing. I think the party is called the nightclub, the rave, isn't it? Jay was spotted falling over and getting back up at the Papagayo Club in Playa de las Americas not long before he vanished. The person who filmed him said it was a good atmosphere, it was hard to dance, it was hard dance music, and everybody was having a good time vibing away. I wanted to remember the moment, so I started filming when I saw a lad staggering around in front of me. You could see him get up off the ground. Everyone turned there to look. They looked a bit concerned. Yeah, they did. Everyone looked very concerned. To me, they looked more concerned about what was going on rather than the guy just fell down and got up. But I don't know. Um, this guy goes on. I had no idea it was Jay at first. He was proper worse for wear. He was with a couple of lads and a girl. The man said he was looking back at his videos later and was shocked to see Jay. My blood ran cold knowing he was gone, he said. All our mates had seen it. News of the disappearance the next day. We were all shocked. The last person to see Jay claimed that he had been kidnapped and something sinister is going on. On his way home, he spoke to his pal Lucy Law, to say he was lost and dehydrated and only had 1% battery on his phone. Again, why do we assume that he was on his way home? He never said that. I'm just interjecting here. Jay never said that he's coming back home to anyone. Never said where he was going. Never mentioned it. He has not been seen or heard from since. Spanish police have not entertained kidnap as a line of inquiry and are treating him as a missing person. But Lucy told Mail Online the whole thing is just so weird. Isn't it, Lucy? Just so weird. It's been 3 days now since he was last seen, and the more time goes on, the more I'm sure he has been taken. At first I wasn't so sure, but now I'm convinced. Lucy, convinced that Jay was taken. Those of us that still say we're convinced Jay was taken, we got Jay's law against us. But Lucy can say whatever she likes. He's not stupid. If he left the house on his own, he would have walked to the road and then tried to flag a car down and stop someone for help. Yep. Yep. This is Lucy 180 back in the day saying Jay didn't go down a ravine. She also said that Jay called them to say he'd cut his leg on a cactus and didn't know where he was. Lucy said he rang her at approximately 8 a.m. Liar. Saying he didn't know where he was, that he needed a drink and had cut his leg on a cactus. That was 8:50, Lucy. You're only 50 minutes out there. Yeah. By the way, Lucy, you could have checked your phone to be accurate. Your phone has all the records. Your phone says 8 or 8:50. Yeah. Why did you say 8, Lucy? Why? His mobile phone battery was down to 1%, but before the device died, he was able to send her a photo of his location. Fat lot of use that was. When she told him to return to where he had walked from, he said he did not know where that was. Well, LBC, I believe he said he couldn't. I can't go back there, I can't go back there. We never understood why not, but that's what happened. He sounded disorientated and explained that he was in the middle of the mountains with nothing around. Well, nothing around, apart from the main road, right where he was. Miss Duncan earlier issued a plea for people to find her son after a false sighting delayed the search for him on Wednesday. It's a nightmare. It's just an absolute living nightmare, she previously told ITN. It's like a dream. It's like it's not happening. It really is. I wouldn't wish this on anybody. I just want my baby back. Please, just anybody who can help, just look for him. There's a massive area up there. It's massive. Yeah, you don't need to look in the massive area, Debbie Duncan. You just need to find out what happened to your boy. Ask his friends. But it's over 48 hours now since he last had any contact with anybody. He's out there somewhere. Somebody knows where he is. Yeah, we just need to find my baby. What did you do, Debbie Duncan, to find your baby, huh? Authorities had been searching the mountainous area of northwest Tenerife for the teenager before focus shifted to tourist hotspots Los Cristianos and Playa de las Americas in the south. It came after an alleged sighting of him getting out of a taxi, but it later emerged that the report was incorrect, with police forced to move attention back to the original site. They actually weren't forced to move their attention anywhere. This is a normal thing to do. This is what happens when there is a sighting. You investigate it. You're not diverting your attention. You're not shifting from one place to another. You're saying, you guys continue to look over here. We'll send one person down there to check out this sighting. Happens all the time. It's no big deal. But there we go. All right. So that was the LBC article from 1 week into the J Slater search. The bit that I'm really fascinated by is Debbie saying, if we don't spend all this money, it gets refunded. Has that happened? Yes or no? All right, let's leave it there. Hasta luego. Hasta la próxima. Adiós.